guys, it's Lavender Gimlet time. Now, the Lavender Gimlet is a drink that we serve a lot here at Mr. Finch, because it's just one of those drinks that you don't see often on menus anymore, which is quite a shame. And it's also a very easy drink to make. So let me show you how it's done, but before I do this I will explain to you what makes a gimlet so special according to me. Now think about shopping for fresh fruits about, like, let's say 100 years ago. If you went to the market 100 years ago, there's a good chance that there wasn't the fruit that you would want. So for instance, oranges or lemons or limes or strawberries, they weren't available all year long. Nowadays we can go to the supermarket, to the market, and buy those fruits each and every single day. About 100 years ago it just wasn't possible to do so, but people wanted to enjoy the flavor of those fruits throughout the year. So what they did is that they came up with ways to preserve the flavor, preserve the fruits. Basically there are two techniques to do so. So you could make either a shrub, which is a completely different technique, also really cool, or you could make a cordial. Now you might think a cordial, I've never had one before, but you probably had a vodka lime. And a vodka lime is vodka with lime cordial, and the brand that's been used in bars the most is Rose's lime juice, which is a lime cordial. It's not juice, but it's a cordial. And how do you make a cordial? What you need is a big pan with boiling water. You will add the zests of the citrus fruits that you prefer. So we took the zest of a lemon. I put it into the pan of boiling water. We also bought a lot of fresh lavender and we put it into the water. We cooked it for about 10 minutes and then we let it cool down outside of the refrigerator for about 4 hours. So by doing this, the flavor of the lavender and the flavor of the lemon really got into the water. So when it had been cooling down for about 4 hours, then you would add some sugar and we would add some juice of the lemons that we took the zest of, so we would have as little waste as possible. And then we would bring it to a boil again, let it cool down again for a couple of hours, and once it had cooled down we would put it through a cheesecloth in order to get all the solids out. And the end result is in this little bottle, and it's got this real pinkish purple color. Now that's when you boil lavender, it doesn't have this color. But the funny thing is when you introduce the lavender with some citric acid, so the juice of the lemon, it changes color and it gets more pinkish or purplish. And it's just a cool way of making your own cordial. Now cordials you can use in cocktails, but you can also use them as a syrup for your soda water, or you can use it to give a little bit of flavor to your sparkling wines. There are many ways that you can use a cordial, and once you've made it and you've put it into a clean bottle, you can stock it in the refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 months. So it's really cool to make your own cordials. Now a gimlet usually calls for gin. You can use vodka if you like, but normally you would use gin. And the gin that we chose for you is this one. It's the Del Professore gin, a gin from Italy, full-bodied, lots of gin flavors, so herbal, juniper, fresh also, but also floral, which combines good with the lavender in the cordial. Now, in order to make a gimlet, you would typically need a glass something like this, a double old-fashioned, which is a large whiskey tumbler, so a wide glass, not too tall, and you would add some ice to it. Now, when making this with these two ingredients, you have to dilute it a little bit, because otherwise it'll be too strong. We already diluted the drink for you, so all you need to do is get a glass, get the content of the package into your glass, and then you would go to your freezer and get some ice cubes, and you would put them in, and you're ready to go because it's already been diluted. How we diluted it is simply by stirring this. Now the ice that we use, it comes out of the ice cube machine, but it's never been inside the freezer. So there's this element that freezes water in the shape of cubes, and then when the water is frozen, then the ice cubes fall down into this isolated container, but it's never actually been inside of the freezer. So this is what we call wet ice. The ice in your freezer, on the other hand, is called dry ice. The difference between those two types of ice, like dry ice and wet ice, is that dry ice takes more time to dilute. So if you have your own cordial and you have a good gin and you want to make your own gimlet, feel free to do so, but you have to stir longer than I do, because mine is already melting, my ice. So we need 3/4 of an ounce, which is 22.5 milliliters of cordial, and we need 2 ounces of gin, which is a lot of alcohol, and that's why we need to dilute it. So how do you dilute it? By stirring. So you would use one of our bar spoons and stir for about 15 seconds. I think if you use your ice cubes from the freezer and you would make your own gimlet, then you would stir for at least 30 seconds. So this is a drink where the dilution has to be exactly right. So you need to taste if it's alright. This might need a little bit more. Perfect. Now the garnish is real simple. So you will find 2 dehydrated slices of lemon. They go in the glass and they will release flavor over time. This is not a drink that you would drink fast. This is a drink that you need to sip on one of those hot afternoons in early summer. It's just a refreshing drink with the sting of the healthy measure of 2 ounces of gin. So it's just perfect. The gin really gives it a certain bite, so you will feel the alcohol, but it's fresh due to the cordial. The lavender, the floral notes really kick in nicely. So I hope you will enjoy our lavender gimlet. Cheers!